Iain from RTO, and guess who's here? Look,
Hello, greetings and
it's Dave
salutations.
himself. Yeah, and this is just a little roundup of round 1 of Battle Royale. This is the man. He's just showed me his little black book. I'll put you big because you've got to see this. This is how he calculates everything. It's not done on a computer. It's done the old-fashioned way.
And that. We're up
That's
to date.
where he keeps all the results.
Hide the last one, and then they get transferred onto the computer. But that's because I have to make a note. Right towards the end, I have to make a note on the live stream of what the live poll is whenever I close it.
Yes.
Because otherwise, if it's not done properly, it can be lost, as has happened in the past.
Yes.
I had to sit and go through a whole recording to find out the last typed result. That's why you'll see me occasionally putting in current voting is.
Go through the review. We're actually going to see who won last week's between Talk and PJ Harvey. So I know the result.
Yeah, you know the result. I know the result. Well, let's take it out of the Bible. So, last page. TTPJH. Whoops. Talk won the live poll by 16 votes to 7. And in the community, Talk won again, 27 votes to 13. A total of 63 votes for an overall score of 43 to 20. So Talk go through.
Wow, poor old Mike. Commiserations,
yes.
Mike.
Yes, I actually went and listened. I listened to both albums, and I prefer PJ Harvey, to be brutally honest. But we'll come to that.
We'll come to that. So it's time to have a look. It seems like October seems a long time ago.
Yes, you haven't done. You did one.
Yeah, I think I was due to do one when I was proper poorly.
Yes.
I didn't do it. So as you can see, we did it in the form of classified results from the BBC. So yes, let's go back to that very first tie between Journey and Nectar. Remember the Future, Escape.
Mm-hmm.
It was closer than I thought it would be.
I actually thought it would go the other way, but then whenever I sat and listened to, because I had to go and listen to both albums, knowing that we were going to be doing this at a future date, I thought, right, I've got to go and listen to both albums and just see which do I actually prefer. And to be brutally honest, I preferred Escape. I preferred Journey. The way I did it was whenever I listened to the albums, I decided which album I would want to listen to again, even if it's just one track. I ended up with Journey because Don't Stop Believing. It gets in your head and it stays there.
It is a classic, isn't it?
It is.
I went the other way.
I thought you might.
Yeah, as much as I love Escape, I think it's a brilliant album. It was I ranked that number 1 when I ranked them. But prog is my sort of thing, really, and it's a great album. It's got some great songs on it.
It does. I won't disagree with you on that. But like I say, which would I listen to again and again and again? Consistently, I'll go for Escape.
Yeah, and it was a home win.
Yes. Well done,
so Seb got through. I think the second tie was always going to be a Blue Oyster Cult win.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Oh, you know how I
yes, but then at the same time, once again, listening to both albums, which one would I listen to again and again and again? I actually ended up going for the Waterboys.
Oh, shocked and stunned. Well, Blue Oyster Cult, as you know, is my favourite American rock band, so it was a no-brainer
Ah,
for me.
I'll actually debate that with you because you've said this is my favorite band several times. I know you've a few favorite American
Yeah,
bands.
this is the number one though for me. It's and Secret Treat is my favourite album. I love the album cover of this because it's got the Messerschmitt ME
ME
262
109.
jet.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
yes, the 262. Yeah.
so once again, was that who have you? Who was? I haven't got this. Whose album it was?
Blue Oyster Cult was MNUG1BH.
Which
Mick.
which is known to us as Mick. So Mick
Yes.
did well there.
Yeah,
Up
Charles
next,
lost that one.
yes,
Oh,
Charles.
yeah, 35-17. Actually, if I go and look at this, just to make sure about something. It was close in the live poll. It was 14-11. There was only 3 votes in the live poll.
So it was the community over the week
It
that
was it was the community over the week 21-6.
that's a big one.
It is. It is. The next one. Oh boy.
Yeah, this was a big debate on the night, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
It was. I have to say, a certain gentleman. Greetings. Greetings, Michael, Sam. He came up very, very early and did an absolutely brilliant presentation. He roared. It was brilliant. It was very well presented as to why Foxtrot should be the one that you vote for.
it paid off.
It did, because unfortunately, I was going Foxtrot. As soon as the draw came out, I was already going Foxtrot even before I went and
Yeah,
listened to Sandinista, and I didn't enjoy Sandinista, but
yeah,
I
it's
can
not the
listen to
best
Foxtrot all
Clash
the time.
album.
It's not,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, it's a good album, but it's a triple album, a lot of filler on it. And I remember when I ranked it, it was quite low in my ranking, but Foxtrot, it's just
It's a classic.
yeah,
It's one of
without a
those
start. So,
all-time classics. Yeah.
so we
The
actually
live
agreed
the
on
live
that one.
votes. The live vote was dead even, 14 votes each. It was the community that decided again, and it went 11-36 in favour of Genesis.
So the first away win of the round went to
Yeah.
Michael.
And then, oh dear,
Yeah.
look what happened next.
Well, Bridge Over Troubled Water, of course, is our wonderful friend of the channel, Mr. Richard McCook, against the Dark Lord, the seedy Dark Lord of the dark side. They put in a Quo album, and fair play to them, but not my favourite Quo album, as you know.
Yeah, and the draw did not go in his favour.
As much as I love Quo,
Bridge Over Troubled
not my
Water has
favourite
so many
album.
classics.
Bridge Over Troubled Water is out there. It's just there. It's the very first album I remember my dad buying, and listen, I could, I was what, four-ish, five-ish, coming up five-ish, three. I don't know, three. I don't know. I was a young lad, very small, but I remember this album. It's the first album I ever remembered, and it's one of my favourite albums. So I would have gone Bridge Over Troubled Water.
Oh, I did as well. There was. Which album would I listen to again? Bridge Over Troubled Water. The whole album. I mean, I was sat in the car, funnily enough. I was over at the gym on Tuesday because my PARS exercises are coming to an end. This was the last week, and I'm starting a second course, but I'm doing it in Newcastle instead of going over to Downpatrick. And I was sat in the car listening to Radio 2. And Bridge Over Troubled Water came on. Oh, wow. And all through the gym session, I had the whole album was going through. I could hear all the songs.
Oh, well, it just has
That tells you how classic that is. That you
yes.
can remember every song in sequence. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah. How did the
So,
voting go in? I think it was a big vote in both, wasn't it? That one.
well, it was 13-7 in the live stream. I mean, the live stream is always going to be dependent on the number of people who are actually watching at the time. And given that it's only 2 hours, 13-7, not bad. But the community, it was a whopping win, 42-9. Absolutely storming win. And then we had the next one. This was always going to be a bit of a fight. Gong are not my favorite band. I'm sorry. For those who like it, fine. I don't blame you, but Gong they don't rock my boat. And this was Zeb with his second entry, Downwind, up against who was it? David Hunt. He chose Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. I'm sorry, I went Bat Out of Hell. And if I had to listen to one song, Paradise by the Dashboard Light, every time. It's such a classic.
This would have been a tough one for me. And I listened to them this week.
Excuse me.
And as much as I do like that Gong album because it's very My Goldfish with all the
It is.
But Bat Out of Hell, having seen that performed live in its entirety.
Yes, it's very hard to get away from.
It is because
the stage
it's even
performance.
better live to actually to see
It is, and
Meatloaf
it's a whole
come
story.
on and do it. It's just unbelievable. I mean, he opened with Bat Out of Hell and closed the show with Bat Out of Hell, and no one was. The second time round, people were still doing the same when he come on. So that's and I went with that one. So this is the start of the away wins. They had
Yes.
I mean, considering they're the second album that I talk about, so the album cover is not on the screen as long as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
It just proves that it's nothing to do with the length that it's on the screen or what I say. I think people just got a lot of people go, yeah, that's one of my favorite albums. I'll vote for it.
Yeah, Bat Out of Hell. It's a classic. I mean, the whole album is a story. Paradise by the Dashboard Light. For me, okay. You got the boy and girl down by the lakeside. Ho. Is he going to get the first base, second base, third base? Brilliant. I absolutely love that with the commentary. It's hilarious. And then you get, hey, hold up. No. You're not going any further until.
Yeah.
And it's just that backwards and forwards. And whenever it's done live, it's brilliant. It's classic.
Yeah. It's a story. It's art. It's an art.
It is.
You don't just go when you used to go and see Meatloaf. You wasn't watching a concert. You was watching a performance.
Yes. Yeah.
A pure performance.
It was almost a rock opera.
Yeah. It was just brilliant.
Speaking of which, I was surprised that nobody put Tommy up.
I was as well. There we go. So next up.
Oh, I better give you the voting for Gong and Meatloaf. It was 10-19 in favour of Meatloaf. For the community, it was 12-39 in favour of Meatloaf. It's a stonking win. And then we come to, oh dear, the Beatles. We were always going to have, someone was going to put a Beatles album in somewhere up against Robert Wyatt.
As much as we love Robert Wyatt, because we do.
Yes.
You go now.
Unfortunately, you came up against one of the better albums.
You come up with the album that really changed the Beatles' music.
Yes.
from a pop band into a more rocky psychedelic band. I love Rock Bottom by Robert Wyatt. It's an absolutely stunning album.
It is.
But Revolver,
it's enjoyable, but Revolver has, is it 4 hits? 3 hits? 4 hits?
4 hits. Yeah, they're all classics. They're just
They are. They are. It's you know, it's part one of or it's a part of the Beatles hit catalogue. It's like Bat Out of Hell. You know the songs whenever you hear them. You know, oh, that's off Revolver. That's off Revolver.
And you know what's coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that so. It was another away win. So who was the?
Well, the live was 7 for Robert Wyatt and 19 for the Beatles. For the community, it was 10 votes for Wyatt, 45 for the Beatles. I reckon there was outside influence.
Now the next round was the big one, wasn't it? Two giants of the VC.
Yeah.
Two giants of the live stream going head to head. Simon with his Pet Sounds and Stevie with one of his 55,000 copies of Quadrophenia. Only joking, Stevie.
Why so many copies? But anyway, I actually, as much as I like Quadrophenia, I actually went for Pet Sounds.
Ooh, you're going to be in later.
Oh, I know.
I think we both are.
Yeah. Because you went Pet Sounds as well.
I went Pet Sounds as well because I love Quadrophenia, but it's not my favourite Who album.
It's not. It's not.
It's not consistent enough. Mm-hmm. There are some filler on there. Sorry, Stevie, but I think there's a bit of filler on Quadrophenia.
Yeah.
Pet Sounds, there's no filler. Every track is crafted by Brian Wilson.
It's Brian Wilson. This is what I did. Go and sing it.
Yeah.
That's the only downside of Pet Sounds for me, is that he created it, he wrote it, did everything, and then sent to the back, right, go and play this, go and sing it. There wasn't a cohesive input from the whole band. It's a one-man wonder, if you like. Whereas Quadrophenia, as you say, yeah, there's 2, 3 fillers, I think. But voting wise, oh dear. It was very, very close. It was even Steven in the live poll, 18 votes each. But the community went 20 votes for Pet Sounds, 39 for Quadrophenia. So the Who go through.
This next one was a huge quandary for me.
Yeah, and this one was, in a way, a bit of an upset.
Yeah, it was. Probably one of the best prog albums ever made against probably one of the greatest rock albums ever made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I won't disagree. Yeah, not too much, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, a side that, Side 2 of Rising's the perfect side. 2 songs, 2 killer songs. Stargazer and Light in the Black. It opens up with Tower Woman. But Close to the Edge, the track itself is just a marvellous piece of music.
Yeah.
After listening to it, I love Yes, but Rising is just perfect for me. Everything about that album is perfect.
And that's where this is where we differ.
Yeah. Sound.
Yes.
Yeah. The best lineup of Rainbow.
Yes.
That was the best lineup, and delivered a wonderful album. As much as I do love Close to the Edge, I went with Rainbow. I'm sticking one up for the heavy rock on that one.
Which is fair enough. But once again, which album would I listen to again and again and again? And Close to the Edge. The voting. Ooh, this was very interesting. The live poll was 10 votes for Rainbow, 18 for yes. But the upset was, in the community, it was 29 apiece. It was even Steven. So the live vote carried it.
That was an incredible vote, wasn't it?
It was. It totally upset. Normally, the community comes down heavy on one side or the other. This time, they were completely split. It was one of the best votes, I think, because it showed just how tight these can be. The fact that it came down to the live stream. If you want to affect a vote, come in, vote in the live stream, then go and vote in the community. You can vote twice, once in each. So the Rainbow could have edged it if they'd had more votes in the live stream. But that was one of the bigger ones. It was an overall 39 to 47, a total of 86 votes on that one.
Very, very good. Yeah. Okay. Metallica versus Rush. The Black Album, Moving Pictures.
Again, I was torn on this.
I was torn.
Yeah.
I mean, me and you have both got a very fondness of moving pictures.
Yes. Yeah. But
I remember when we was travelling back from Ennis, that was blasting away in the car.
It was.
It
kept us going.
Metallica Black Album. An album that sort of divides the Metallica fans.
Yeah.
The diehards, the thrash said it was too commercial, but it brought in a lot of fans.
Yes. And for me, listening to both albums, again, breaking it down, what would I listen to again and again and again? Well, I'll let you into a little secret. I have a routine. Get up in the morning. The heating has been on for about half an hour. The towel rail is warm. So is the towel. Oh, thank you. Get in, have me shower, get out and dry myself off with a nice hot towel. Whoa. But while I'm having a shower, I've got Spotify on the phone sitting in the sink so that it acts as an amplifier. And I've got a playlist going. And first on the playlist is Enter Sandman. And again and again and again. I could happily listen to Enter Sandman all day long.
It's one of the Metallica songs. I love it, but if I never hear it again, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. That old cliche from YouTube.
Yeah.
But for me, Moving Pictures, it's their best album from the 80s, Rush's best album from the 80s. It's got Tom Sawyer on it. It's a great song, and the side 2 is just brilliant of that album.
It is. I was totally split on this.
So I would have gone for Rush.
Enter Sandman tipped it for me. The fact that I would listen to it again and again and again and again and again, even putting it on loop. Tom Sawyer, I love it. I think it's brilliant. But yeah, like I say, what would I listen to again and again? The voting, where are we? The live vote was 12 for Metallica and 14 for Rush. But here we go. The community came down in favor of Rush. 11 votes to 45. So the community decided big time. It was very close in the live stream. And then we had, look what came up next. Oh, yeah. My goodness me. Oh.
Judas Priest's Defenders of the Faith and Mr. Bowie's Diamond Dogs. I
I'll tell.
always thought this
I'll
was going
tell
to be
you.
one-sided.
Yeah, you know exactly where my vote went, because track 1 of Diamond Dogs gets me every time. It's that little narrative about the shutters opening on the Tempest built high on Poacher's Hill, and red mutant eyes look down on Hungry City. Ooh, yes, and the way that leads and fades in to Diamond Dogs, it's brilliant. It is. It's good. I'm sorry, I didn't even think about Judas Priest. I
Do you
went
know what?
straight to
Oh, do
Diamond Dogs.
I mean, you know, I'm a huge Priest fan. Defenders of
Yeah,
the Faith has got some classics on,
but
but Diamond Dogs is just classic after classic after classic after classic.
yeah, and Richard, I know he'll be rolling over like a puppy having his tummy scratched. He's loving this. The fact that
It's his favourite album of all time,
it
isn't
is.
it?
It is, and I can't disagree with him. I can't disagree with him. It's an all-time absolute classic. I think it's one of Bowie's best.
It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite Bowie album, but it's one of my
It's up there.
favorites. It's up there.
It's up there. Yeah, I'd
That
say
classic period. I
it's
just love listening to that album.
one of the top 3. I would say.
Yeah, I think it was in my top 4. Diamond Dogs
Mm.
was. It's a long time since I've done. I've been listening to the posthumous live.
Oh
Bowie at the moment,
yes,
and
yes,
there's a lot of Diamond Dogs tracks live that I think even sound better live.
yes.
And I'm
Yeah,
not talking the usual suspects either.
no. A lot of the underplayed stuff
It sounds really
comes
good.
out, and it
Deep cut
does.
tracks off that live are fantastic. So
Yeah.
yet another away win, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the knot for the away team.
Yeah, and funny enough, I mean, if you look at the results, it's even Steven. There's 8 home and 8 away.
Yeah. So it didn't
So,
matter that if I read you out first or second, it didn't matter.
yeah. And then we
Anyway,
come to the last of the away wins.
yes. Dark Lord again,
Oh,
persisting with status quo and never too late. Up against who's next?
oh dear. I mean, I admire Dark Lord for persisting with Quo albums, but
Pick the
once
wrong
again, the
ones.
draw did not favour him.
Now, if it had gone up against Quo, Hello, Pile Driver, Blue for You, or On the Level, we could have had
I think it would have been a tighter contest.
yes.
But then, as you keep saying, and as we keep replying to various comments on various videos, everybody hears music differently. You hear it one way, I hear it another way. You like one track off an album, I like another track off an album. Nobody hears everything exactly the same. If we did, music would be boring.
It would be. Now, for me, Never Too Late is quite a personal album because it was when that came out when I was in hospital when I had my first back operation.
That was before. No, that was before I met you.
Yeah, this was when I was.
That's how far back that is.
I was 14. It was my nan, because they come out very close. She brought me Just Supposing and Never Too Late on cassette. So they are very special albums for me. They kept me through a good time. But honestly, it was a no-brainer. Who's Next was going to win. It's my favourite Who album.
Yes.
It's not. Again, it's just full of classics.
Yeah, and
You open with Baba O'Reilly, and it's just
you saying that has reminded me of a suggestion that has been made for one of your specials with Richard. A song where the title doesn't appear in the lyrics anywhere.
yeah. I think that'll be
Baba O'Reilly is a classic. The name does not get mentioned anywhere in the song.
Yeah. It's just
But
got
anyway.
Yeah, so it would have been I would have gone for the Who.
So did I, and purely Baba O'Reilly. Vote-wise, it was 6 for Quo, 21 to the Who on the live stream, and the community, I'm sorry, it was 10 to 39.
It got obliterated.
It did. It did a bit. It did a bit. Anyway, so now we come to a conundrum.
Technique from Jimmy Barnes.
I listened to both albums, and I didn't like either, so I wouldn't have voted.
Ooh.
I would have been a nil point for both.
You see, I would have gone for the Prince album because at the technique, they were influenced by Ibiza.
Yes, and I went and listened to them both. I skipped through Technique last night, knowing this was coming up and trying to make a decision. I put it on sort of fast playthrough and listened to it again. And no, I'm sorry, Ibiza beat style music did not rock it. It did nothing for me.
No,
didn't like it at all.
But saying that, I think there are better albums than Sign of the Times. There was
Yes.
There was a lot of filler on that album as well. It was a double album. I think when
it's actually come out. It's been issued 3 times. First time it came out, or first time it was presented to the label for release, it was a triple album, and the label said no. We cut it down to a double album, and then it got released as a triple album, and then it has since been released again as a super deluxe, you name it. It's 6 discs.
Well, it's on Spotify, the whole thing, and it just go.
No.
I skipped. And there are some tracks. There's some classics on there, but yeah, I would have.
But no, the rest of it was what? Say, let's be generous. 3 good tracks in Sign of the Times that you might listen to more than once.
Yes. So how did
and I stress might.
Yeah. How did the votes go on that one?
Funny enough, on the live stream, New Order won 15-9. In the community, it was 18-12. So New Order go through without a vote from me.
Yeah, without a vote.
I'm sorry.
None of our votes have actually influenced the scores, really.
No, maybe one. Maybe one.
And then we had probably the biggest trouncing of the round. Sergeant Pepper, Simon, and
let's now. I just want to have a quick
the
look
Sleepy
at
Jackson
to make sure. Yes. This is the only tie where one of them didn't even make it into double figures. They got an absence. I'm sorry. Sleepy Jackson, I listened. It did nothing for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was like that as well. The name of the band sort of fits the album.
Yes, it's
very talented guys, but it needed. Quoting Monty Python, it wouldn't go boom if you had 40,000 volts at it. Now, no disrespect. Now, I can't remember who put this in.
Hang on, let's have a look at.
Was it Turnip's
Oh,
Return?
yes, this was Turnip's Return.
Turnip. I mean, he's a great supporter of the channel, but sorry, buddy.
Yeah,
It didn't float my boat. It really didn't.
yeah,
They didn't make many albums. The other one, I can't even. I preferred listening to the other, but it was always going to be up against a great album, and
well, an all-time. This is once again an all-time classic.
yeah,
You know every song,
yeah.
and
Even the one,
as soon as you hear even the weird ones,
the With Him Without You,
yeah, you know what album it is, and you know what's coming next.
yeah. So
I'm sorry, Turnips, you got hammered. The live vote was 16-4, and the community vote, I reckon Turnips was one of the votes because the community only gave 2 votes. 37 went to the Beatles. You're always going to be up against, how can I put it, nostalgia voting.
yes.
Whenever you hear the Beatles. Now, if you put Sergeant Pepper up against Revolver, I'd vote Sergeant Pepper.
It's going to be interesting because that could actually happen.
It could.
Yeah.
But yeah, 59 votes and only 6 for Sleepy Jackson. Oh dear.
Okay, the next one was a big name in the VC. It was Rob Walker, Stone Roses. And Ralph had some redemption after being packed in Taiwan. He came back, but boy, did he come back strong. And against Rob Walker.
Yes, and how can I put this? Stone Roses aren't my favourite band.
It's a good album.
It is.
Iconic album.
It is. But once again, okay, you've got a playlist, what you're going to listen to again and again and again.
Boston.
Yes.
A track that's got More Than a Feeling, and an album that's got More Than a Feeling and Smoking on.
You're talking classics.
Yeah. I mean, Smoking is actually I prefer Smoking to
More Than a Feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's that opening riff, that it's just full of great riffs.
It is.
And it's just one of the finest rock debut albums to hit the shelves.
Yeah, for a long time. I mean, the live, put it like this, the live vote, it was 14 for Boston, 15 for the Stone Roses. 1 vote. But the community carried it. The community went the other way. They went 36-19 in favour of Boston. I'm sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
I mean, it ended up 50-34. I mean, 84 votes. That is let's see, if I check. 1, 2. It's the 3rd highest number of votes we had.
Yeah. Then we had the next round, and I do feel sorry for both of them because it was we only had it. There wasn't a live stream that week.
Yes.
Yours truly was 46.
Yes. You decided to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a complete community vote. As much as I like New Boots and Panties, I have a problem. Whenever the album, whenever the album was initially issued, there was a track which was not on the original, but has been on subsequent re-releases. Now, if Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll had been on the original pressing, on the original album, I would have voted for Mr. Jury. As it is, it's not on the pressing. It wasn't credited on the sleeve or the label. I mean, it appeared as the first track on side 2 of repressings.
Yeah, and
in
the American,
1978. Yeah,
yeah, and the
but,
American version.
but we were talking the original, the first. So, in my mind, it doesn't count as an original track, and therefore, I'm sorry, but the Sex Pistols and one song, "Anarchy in the UK." Sex Pistols got my vote. If, like I say, if Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll had been an original track, I would have gone the other way.
I was torn here because I think they're both great albums, very important albums in the punk genre at the beginning there. But I think the New Boots and Panties more melodic.
It is. It is. It's more melodic, but
For sheer brute
Pistols,
hell and force,
yeah,
it's never mind the bollocks. it's
yeah,
just,
it was the angry young men of their day.
yeah. I mean, I love God Save the Queen. That's just
Yes,
a terrific track. Pretty Vacant,
they're
Anarchy in the UK.
looking back at the time that the album came out and what they were singing about, and you look at today's climate, that album is still valid.
Yeah, and one of my favourites is EMI, sticking two fingers up at record companies.
Yes,
It's just absolutely brilliant. This is what we think
it
of
is.
what you, yeah, and I thought that would have been a lot closer, personally.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it was a thumping vote for the Sex Pistols, 41-14. It's unfortunate.
Which brings us to the latest tie.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Colour of Spring, Talk Talk. Now, was this David
Did,
Hunt, I do believe, wasn't it?
hang on, let me just have a quick.
Or
No,
was it
Talk was Charles.
Charles? Oh, our good friend Charles.
Good friend Charles up against Mike Vinyl Spiral, who came up and did a little spiel. Well done. And for those who, not meaning to override, for those who came on to the live stream and promoted why their choice should be the one that you vote for, well done to you. The longest one was Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard. You know how long his presentation was?
About 15 minutes.
Yeah. So I think we're going to put a limit on future presentations. Maximum of 5 minutes.
Yeah, cram it all in. I mean,
Yeah.
both good albums. The Colour of Spring was that turning point that Talk Talk stopped being a pop band and become a more serious fusion jazz band.
Yeah. And it was difficult for me to get the pop image out of my head.
Yeah, It's My Life and all that nonsense. Yeah.
Yes.
On
I
the
mean,
other hand,
it's my life. Good song.
yeah,
But then I went and I listened to Is This
Polly.
Desire?
Yes, we listened to our Polly.
Yes. And I have to say, there was one track that really got me, and I went and looked up the story behind it because I thought it somehow seems familiar, and it's The Wind.
I think that's a
Now,
lot of people's favourites.
yeah, but it's about a. It's not a monastery. I think it was an abbey near where she lives, and it's based upon a prayer to Saint Catherine. And listening to it, I'm not sure. Is she doing both sets of vocals?
I can't remember.
If she's doing both sets of vocals, it was disturbing. And then I thought, I've got to listen to this again. I'm not 100% sure. Listen to it again, and I thought, it's actually quite bloody good.
Yeah, it's a great album. Great
It
album.
is. I mean, there's a lot of times where I wasn't. You've got to sit and listen to the whole of each track. You can't skip.
No, you
You
listen to
can't
it all the
fast
way
forward.
through.
You've got to listen to every second of every track because there's something buried that the first time you listen to it, you might miss it. The second time, you might pick it up. The third time, you definitely hear it because you go, what is that? It's brilliant. Yes, I was quite surprised. I thought I hadn't listened to Polly's stuff much in the past. And I sat and listened to this. I can actually listen to this again.
Yeah, it's going down that rabbit hole and enjoying the rabbit hole.
Yes.
Yeah. So unfortunately, though, Mike.
Yeah, as much as we liked it, the voting was not in your favour. The live stream, our 2 votes wouldn't have made much difference. It was 16-7 in favour of Talk on the live stream, and the community went 27-13. 43-20, a total of 63 votes.
So yeah, it was a very good round one, and I'd just like to thank everybody. Firstly, the people that put their albums in.
Yeah, those who made their choices.
And thank you for everyone that has voted.
Yes,
and gone into the spirit of this.
Yeah, it's kept me up to midnight on a Wednesday night.
Yes. Anyway, Saturday 3 p.m. we're doing round 2 draw.
Yes,
and we'll be a bit more up.
Yeah, because the rugby's not on the TV.
Yeah.
that's the only reason you're getting us.
And so next week when we start the toys again, I'm going to be talking about their artwork, who designed it, what the concept is behind each and every cover that's left in the round. So,
yeah.
And then I think when we come to the quarterfinal draw, we will have someone doing the draw for us, and we'll let you know soon.
That reminds me, I need to find it. Where are you? That one. I'm just going to share something. So there you go. There you can see how the book translates onto the computer. Those in green are those who will be selected for round 2, which you can see down here, starting the 1st of February all the way through to the 21st of March. 8 ties. We're sitting ready, willing and waiting.
So, thank you very much for everyone for watching. And this was your first video, wasn't it? Your first proper official video on the channel.
Yes. Sitting in the kitchen. I actually took the laptop into the front room to see, could I do it in the front room? No, I couldn't see the screen. It was too far away.
Anyway, we'll see you later, won't we? At 8 o'clock.
Yes, yeah. 6 3/4 hours, thereabouts.
Yes. So, thank you very much
okay.
for watching, and we'll see you later today. Bye for now.
Ta-da.